Welcome back to the Bourbon Barkeep Lounge. This is House Call Wednesday. Once again, you know you're in the lounge because we actually have lights. And it doesn't look like we're in a dungeon. So, VIP members only, welcome. Thank you for coming back. If you're new here, my name is Curtis. And what we do is we just do blind tastings. We try to strip away some of the labels, fanfare, obsession, and we just see if the juice is good, if you will. This could be anything from $10, I don't even know if that exists anymore, to $500. And with my whiskey budget, I can almost guarantee you it's not $500. But we try to stick to things that we can just, draw some type of dots between, whether it's proof, maybe just a sibling rivalry. You never know. And then we put them into the lounge, and like a John Wick lounge, we have them fight, and we score them. And we say, you lose, because there's no participation trophies. So what we have today, I got 2 glasses already poured. I got, man, this purple color. I mean, that is just so dark. You try and do something for your kid that likes purple, and then you start reading numbers in the dark, and you look like an idiot. It's like 63, 65, 63, and we got a 46. Without further ado, glass A. While we try to give this a little time to open up, go ahead, like, subscribe, and don't back out of that commitment, because you're in it. Ooh, that's nice. A lot of candied cherry, some strawberry, very sweet. I'm gonna actually go back to a tasting note that I enjoy picking up on the nose, and it's gonna be a pink nerd. You just open that cardboard box, maybe even with the cardboard in here. You just shove your nose in when you're like 9, you inhale a couple, you cough them out. Pink nerds, some really nice caramel, some nice chocolate coming through, kind of flirting with potentially a Twix. Like if you halfway melted a Twix and rolled it into pink nerds. And if someone wants to do that, let me know how that is in the comments, because I kind of want to taste that now. So, cheers on glass A. I shake my head because what I was hoping to be a Twix rolled in pink nerds is not that. It's like a leather, maybe even a pleather, and black licorice. And those are 2 notes that I don't specifically look for in a pour. With this being the first pour of the day, it's a little hot on the tongue to where I don't know if that's cinnamon or just kind of a shock on the tongue. Leads me to think that this is at least over 90 proof at least. God, this is so dirty. What the frick is the dishwasher doing? And when I say the dishwasher, I mean me. On the nose, once you kind of revisit after getting this kind of earthy, if you will, I feel like pleather is going a little earthy. There's actually like a buttered caramel popcorn coming out, which is kind of, the cherry is, the pink nerds is almost gone. Yeah, this nose is completely morphed as it's opened up. I mean, it's been sitting here for a bit, but I may need to go back and poorly re-edit the first nose, because this is like caramel buttered popcorn now. In the tin, you could just shake it up. Shout out Topsies. All right, second sip. So upon second sip, it's good. The black licorice is there. leather, tobacco. You know, with the transformation of the nose, it's tough to sit there and like go in thinking again that it was going to be super sweet, to where that kind of popcorn note is kind of fun. Haven't had that too many times at this point. When it comes to the palate, it's not my tasting profile that's kind of the problem, to where it seems like a good pour, not a punch of oak, maybe some like apricot, but I don't feel like I'm saying a ton of traditional whiskey tasting notes, at least. All right, so to wrap up Glass A, the nose kind of bounces back and forth between that kind of buttered caramel popcorn. If you swirl, take a nice deep huff of it, you still kind of get that strawberry, candied cherry, a little bit of oak in there. On the tongue, those main notes still kind of drive. It probably is in the forefront because I'm not a large fan, and that's what I'm going to be tasting a lot of. There is some nice spice on the tongue. The cinnamon spice is still a little bit there. Not as much as the first sip, but it definitely lingers. And then on the finish, medium plus. You definitely know it's there. I'm going to go 105 plus proof. Feels about right. Not overly aggressive, but let you know it's there, which, you know, sometimes you need that person to not be a shadow in the corner. At least like, speak up. How's your day? We don't know. Speak up. Glass B. Let's see if Glass B speaks up. Also, I feel like I should mention, if you are first timers, if you will, I do have like different engravings on this thing. How do I do that? Something like that. So that's at least how I know. I don't know if that helps or if you even care. If you don't care, then I guess that speaks to your amount of trust, and I respect that. So we got Glass B on the nose. That is a lot of vanilla. That is a very light nose. I'll give you caramel. Slight mint coming through. You know, maybe like a winter fresh, like the blue stick. That is not an overly complex nose. Not a bad one. Just we'll see if those three notes translate to the taste, I guess. We'll certainly revisit the nose, because there's not a lot coming out here. Okay, sweetness is there, very hot, little ethanol coming out. Yeah, as it starts to kind of sit on the tongue and develop, there's a kind of a really sharp bite, actually. The heat definitely lingers. It's almost kind of like one of those like atomic fireballs if you just kind of left in the middle of your mouth, where it just kind of burns a hole right in the middle, but there's nothing on the sides or the front of the palate. The sweetness from the nose mirrors kind of what goes through your body. But the cinnamon kind of hangs around. Actually, like when you're talking about any Kentucky hug, I would call it 0. I mean, for how hot it kind of is on the tongue. Really, no finish on it at all. There's just a spice on the tongue. Let's see what nose and sip 2 have, and maybe she opened up a bit more. She did not. It's caramel and vanilla, which I'm sure there's a candy out there that I could reference, but I'm also not 70, so. Cherry, that's about all I got. We'll see how it goes on the tongue. Second sip was weird. I'm gonna go, like there's a grape Kool-Aid that kind of came out, and now I feel like the glass was offended that I said it sat in the middle, because now the front of my tongue is burning with cinnamon. No oak, some grain kind of coming out. I'll be curious if there's any ages on these, because this one tastes younger. I don't want to say definite because that locks me into a corner, but this one tastes younger than Glass A. I feel weird kind of saying it. Like there's an overall sweetness that kind of lends me to almost like a Buffalo Trace product, but the cherry isn't punching me in the eye. And the amount of heat makes me think that's not Buffalo Trace. They seem to be sticking to kind of their lower proof. But yeah, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. I got nothing else. It's just there's definitely more complexity, especially if you can put up with like this anise, black licorice, leather, but still kind of some traditional tasting notes with Glass A thrown in. I'm going to go back to back, and then we'll jump into the scoring and see where we land. Now, side by side, a bit more eye-opening. So we'll go through a quick rundown. Glass A, when you're going immediately back and forth between A and B, there is a depth that Glass B does not have. Not only in terms of just tasting notes, but just overall well-roundedness. Not my flavor profile, so if you are hearing the words come out of my mouth, and hopefully my mic is on, and you like these flavors, great. You're going to score this higher. I do enjoy it more than Glass B in terms of the senses, which we will get into. Glass B, it's just a little flat. I mean, when you're talking 2 or 3 notes, and I don't claim to be a professional by any means, but I would like to think that I could rattle off 5, and I can't even make up a 4th. It's just vanilla, caramel, that touch of mint, some of the candied cherry kind of came through, and then on the, last sip, not the second sip, the last sip, there was like a sickeningly sweet finish to it, but still nothing, no hug whatsoever. This could be something if someone wanted, and we'll figure out proof soon, if you told me, man, you really loved Weller Special Reserve, this is kind of that, but hotter. So take that for what it is. So getting into the scoring, once again, if you're new to the channel, we have a Bourbon Barkeep scoring system, which I'll throw on the screen here. We also take bang for the buck into consideration, where sometimes it's really annoying because you're like, hey, I know Weller 107 is $50. You'll never find it for $50. So what is the bang for the buck? But we'll go with what we have. Hopefully that's not a hurdle I need here, even though I've already mentioned Weller. Damn it. It can't be. We'll see. Damn it. Okay. Glass A. Not my flavor profile. Not going to score super high, but I do appreciate the depth, because between the changing and getting a fair amount kind of coming through this glass, I'm going to go 67. It's just pleasurable for me. I'm not reaching for it in the good stuff, if you will, but someone will. Just not my standard, if you will, which is what makes kind of this WhiskeyTube world and the quantity of people doing this at this point really interesting. You're going to sit there and you're going to see Mash and Drum, SLB guys, who else? Bourbon junkies. All of them have different flavor profiles. So whoever you're latching onto, latch onto. If they're leading you down the right path, and you love the leather and anise and tobacco and all this stuff, go with them. On the flip side, if you're not into it and you care about money as well, Stick around for maybe a couple more episodes. Glass B on the senses. It's just going to be an even 60. I can't sit there. No, I'm going to go lower. Yeah, I'm going to go lower. Mainly because I appreciate a little more depth, and it's going to be unmemorable. So I'm going to drop it to 58. It's just highly average. It's to sit there and only have kind of a 3-note banger. I mean, it's smooth, but there's got to be more than just, hey, it's pleasurable because it's smooth and you got 3 things. I'm going to go 58. Yeah. Now we find out what they actually cost. So prior to this, I just kind of click a randomizer. It gives me 2 bottles to pick out of a bucket. I find those numbers, which we talked about earlier, and I pour them. So in Google Forms, I do know that this is bottle 132. So we had 63 and 46. Glass A is $60. Once again, it's unfair to score it because I just don't love the flavor profile, but you respect the effort that goes into it. So at $60, I'm just going to go 58. It's probably not a rebuy for me, but I could definitely see it being on someone else's shelf pretty consistently. Nice depth. I don't know age. I don't know proof yet. So I do give myself some leeway in terms of, if this is a 12-year bourbon, maybe we bump it up a little bit. But right now, it's not for me. I would rather spend $60 or even $70 somewhere else, personally. Glass B, we have $40. And I would probably reiterate exactly what I just said. It falls pretty flat. 40 is not offensive. I won't reach for it, but someone will, especially someone that once again, if they wanted like a hotter Weller Special Reserve, that is kind of what popped in. By no means do I think this is under 100 proof, so take that for what it is. So for hot Weller Reserve, once again, hopefully it's not Weller. God help me. 59. I can't put it into Pleasurable. I mean, $40 is still $40. I feel like there's other bottom shelf bottles that I would much rather have. 1792, Elijah Craig. I'm not the biggest Wild Turkey fan, so 101 is there. I know that's very good. I'm tempted to score it a little lower on both of them, but there's no reason to be mean. They're not going to do that well at this point anyways. So now, time for the reveal. Battle 132, number, I don't know what we've been doing in the lounge at this point. Battle 132, Glass A is Russell's Single Barrel 110 proof. I mean, that does kind of fall along the lines of what I don't love, to where everything that I've tasted from Wild Turkey is just not what I'm looking for. That Russell's 10 is dynamite. The single barrel goes back to kind of that Kentucky spirit, Wild Turkey 101, where I'm just not a fan. I want to be a fan. Everybody's a fan, but the frickin' Bourbonbarkeep Lounge. Glass B, First Call Cask Strength, 113 proof. That's a frickin' Total Wine bottle. Is that the one that they sit there and like hound you about, to where it's like, hey, this is Weller, or is that a different one, or is it all of them? Gosh, I hate Total Wine. It wasn't bad. I don't know what the not cask strength stuff is. That's got to taste like iced tea. Very watered down. Let's see. I got a couple notes. Okay, so the Russell's single barrel, that's usually around 9 to 10, but not age stated. First call, at least 3 years. And the first call's cask strength. Damn it. It was sent to us by a subscriber. So there's that. Thank you, Cole Manley. This will be appreciated greatly by many visitors that I have, and possibly mixed into cocktails. Man, I'm happy I didn't go in on that a little harder. It is appreciated when you all send us stuff. I think this is actually our second sample that was submitted by a subscriber. If you want to send us stuff, I think our email is down in the description, not our address. We're not that weird. So when we go back to the weighted score with the bang for the buck being slightly weighted, obviously we want the juice to be good, so we give that a little more credit than bang for the buck. Russell's takes it, I can't say handedly, but hopefully it helps. That's kind of why when we're going through some of these tasting notes, you're going to like something that I don't, and vice versa, to where first call could stand up to Russell's. There's just not a depth. It's just lacking a depth to where you're talking 9 to 10 years old, we said, compared to a minimum of 3, and I can promise you it's not more than 5. There's just no way. It could stand up. Hot Weller. That's just what I'm going to call first call cask strength. Hot Weller, and enjoy it. If there's a Total Wine in your area, if there's not, this episode's not going to do well for you because you're going to have no idea what we're talking about. But sometimes I don't either. Here we are. Thanks again for coming out to the Bourbon Barkeep Lounge. Like, subscribe once again, and then until the next House Call Wednesday, we will see you then.